thanks for watching today. I had to make some changes to get the fish to bite. I had to downsize using some really tiny finesse baits, but it worked. If you make some changes, sometimes it'll really pay off. Let's get catching. There's a nice fish right there.
Got him. 25 feet out.
I started off with a 1/16 ounce unpainted leadhead jig.
Get up here, girl.
But the bite started to slow down, so I had to change things up. But this was a nice fish.
There's a male. And you get to go for riding a boat. You hate that sucker. Nice little male crappie. 12.5 inches. Perfect eater size. Going in the boat.
There's a nice looking crappie about 4 feet off the bottom. Looks like it's got a good size to it. There's my jig and weight coming right down on top of it. Let's see if we'll get him to eat it. There he goes.
Oh my goodness, missed it. Dang.
Man, I hate when I miss a good crappie like that.
Let him eat it.
Get that soft plastic lined up just right on your hook. There's a nice crappie 27 feet from the boat. There's my jig and weight. I'm going to reel it up, drop it right down on top of him. Looks like a good one. He's moving kind of fast though.
Got him. Oh, it's a catfish. Oh my goodness. Should have known better.
In general, those catfish have a little bit narrower return and they're moving around faster most of the time. Sometimes they look just like a crappie and you can't help it. I hate catching them though. There's my jig and weight coming right down to that nice looking return. He's about to get it right there. Come on, eat it. Twitch it a little bit. Nope.
Oh my goodness, missed it.
Dang, missed it. Hate that.
Alright, we're downsizing.
First thing is I'm putting on some weight stoppers to peg my 1/4 ounce weight in place on the line. And you got to be willing to make some changes. I'm downsizing to a more finesse bait. I'm actually going to go with a 1/64 ounce crappie magnet nickel plated jig head. And I'm using the Wild Willie's OCD Little Minnow. It's 1.75 inches. And I also trimmed the tail a little bit to make it even more finesse. Hopefully the change will pay off. Versatility is key. Got to really maximize your time on the water. That reel magic is awesome too. I mean, I spray it on my line. It makes your line much more manageable. Alright, there I'm cutting off part of that tail to make it more finesse. That's the Wild Willie's OCD Little Minnow 1.75 inch Comet color. Alright, there is my jig and weight. About to cast it out there. You see it coming down 30 feet from the boat. Right on top of that nice looking return. Let's see if this change made a difference. Oh, I thought he was going to start chasing it. He didn't. So I'm going to reel it up, drop it on top of this fish right here. It's a good looking one. He's already turned.
Got that one right under the boat. Downsized to a 1/64 ounce and it paid off. That's our keeper. Not exactly the big ones, but it's a good keeper size. That's 11.5 inch black crappie. 11.5.
So that change looks like it's paying off. Lining up my plastic there on the jig. Alright, there's a nice looking crappie 40 feet from the boat. There's my jig and weight coming down to it. Got to line up that transducer, get it pointed right at it. And you can barely see it, but that fish is chasing it. He's about to eat it right now. There he is.
Got that one. That's a catfish. That's a catfish. No, that's a crappie. Dang, that's a good one. It's a white crappie. Get in this boat, girl. Oh, this ain't no girl. This is a dude, man. He's getting his black on. Black tuxedo, 14-inch. Over 14. White crappie. Look at that. Get in there, dude. Got 3 in there. I need about 10.
There's a nice looking crappie about 20 feet from the boat. Well, where'd he go? There he is. Alright, there's my jig and weight coming down to it. Gotta line up that transducer. There we go, that's a little better. Right in front of that fish. Didn't really get that lined up, so I'm going to drop it back down to that fish right there, 4 feet off the bottom. That's a good looking one. It's about to be on top of him, and he is about to eat it. Right there.
You got that one right on the boat. That's a good one too. Get in there. It's another male. He's getting all darkened up to find himself a lady. You better get up shallow if you're trying to find a woman. 13, just over 13. Black crappie male. Trying to find yourself a lady.
There's a bunch of crappie or some kind of fish scattered all over the place. That's a nice looking one, 45 feet from the boat. There's my jig and weight coming down to it. Looks like there's one right on top of the other. There's my jig and weight. I'm bringing it to, coming up on that first one. I'm not sure if that's a crappie, but this next one right here, it's right above it. That looks like a crappie. He's turning, he's getting it.
Got that one. Sucker's 45 feet out there. Thought you could get a bite to eat, didn't she? Get in here. This little lady's got a big old fat belly, even though she's only about right at 12 inches. Look at that belly on her. We're gonna let her go.
I got hung up here. It's one of the reasons I don't like brush pile fishing. I hate getting hung up. I'm using 10-pound test monofilament, and it's pretty strong. Most of the time you can pull out the hook from the brush pile, but if you do get hung up, make sure you check your hook to make sure that it's sharp, and line up your weight and your soft plastic on your jig head. And this hook was getting kind of dull, so I hit it a couple times with a file. You want to make sure your hooks are really sharp so you don't lose any fish. But fishing for the open water fish, to me, is just much more fun. You kind of have to stalk them and cast to them, and you don't get hung up. But they're starting to move into the brush pile. So now I hadn't had any bites for about 30 minutes, so I had to change it up. And I went from the 1/64 ounce back to the 16th ounce jig head. And this one had a 1/16 ounce nickel plated crappie magnet jig head. And I had the same Wild Willie's OCD little minnow 1.75 inch with the tail trimmed and that comet color, which is black with a chartreuse tail. There's two nice looking crappie, 20 feet. There's my jig and weight dropping down to it. Looks like there's 2 or 3 fish there right on top of that one. He's chasing it. 2 of them are chasing it. The other one in the middle is about to hit it. Can't really see it, but he's gonna get it.
Small dude. Alright. Let's see if we're on to something here.
All right, there's two nice looking crappie about 23 feet from the boat. There's my jig and weight coming down. I'll bring it on top of the first fish. If he doesn't hit it, hopefully the next one will. There's the jig coming over the first one. He didn't hit it. That second one is turned though. He's already chasing.
Got him. Yes, 25 feet out. Hope it ain't a catfish. That's a crappie. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Get up here. Got on the 16th ounce. Nickel plated. Crappie magnet. That's a good male. Look at that sucker. 13 and a half. Over 13 and a half inch male. 13 and a half inch black crappie. Yeah, look at the thick shoulders on that dude. Get in there. What I'm talking about.
All right, here's a bunch of fish on top of that brush. Some of them look like they're moving kind of fast. They may be catfish. But there's my jig and weight. I'm about to bring it on top of them and kind of twitch it as I move it through. One of them's following it. Hope it's a crappie.
Got that one. Came right off that brush pile. Get in here, buddy. On bail. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Over 13 inches. Black crappie, male.
Always check your soft plastic to make sure it's lined up straight. All right, there's that brush pile again. Looks like there's some fish still hanging out above it. And there's my jig and weight coming on top of that one nice return. That fish wasn't interested, so I'm going to kind of drag it through the mix. There's my jig and weight dropping down on top of that brush. And there's some fish inside that brush. Hopefully one of them will come and get it. All right, there's my jig and weight dropping right down on top of that fish. He's about to eat it.
Got that one. It came up. That's a catfish.
And unfortunately, it was a catfish. All right, there's two fish 35 feet from the boat. There's my jig and weight coming down to them. Now those definitely look like crappie. There's my jig. One of them's chasing it down and he is about to get it. You kind of lose sight of it here. Keep reeling. There he is.
Got him. I barely see it. That's a good one. Get up here, dude. Oh my goodness. Oh, that girl's pregnant. Put you back, little lady. Right at 14 inches. Look at the belly on that little girl. Get back in there.
There's a couple crappie, I think, above that brush. There's my jig and weight coming down right to them. Hopefully we can get one of them to eat it. Twitched it a little bit. One of them's chasing it down.
Got that one. 40 feet out there. Yes, sir. Oh, man, that is a toad, too. Good Lord. Get in this boat. Oh. She may be pregnant. So you're going to let her go. That's 13 and a half inches. 13 and a half inch black crappie. Yeah, get on that little girl. Get in there. We got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in there that we kept. Let go a bunch of females.
Fished for about 3 hours. Ended up catching 9 crappie. Kept 6 of them. And I ended up giving those 6 crappie away. It was a fun day. I sure appreciate you watching. God bless you, and get out there and go fishing soon.
Thanks for watching.